wildflower in her studio just behind Elsie's.
Yep. Screen printing, designing, all fun stuff. Loudflower came from this desire to really speak out and be firm and loud and make an impression, make a mark, but also have a delicacy and sort of like a gentleness as well. And also definitely humor. Yeah, so I moved into the funk zone as an artist in like the middle of 2017, maybe the end of 2017. And I was mostly doing quilting and sewing. I got really inspired to start doing more community organizing events and try and like kind of shake things up a little bit. Cool. And I started a vending machine that I sold art out of called Snack Gallery. Right. And that was at Muni Wine. So I was like all still in that neighborhood. I was still in the building, like across the street from Muni. I had this rad little studio space on the roof. It was like this teal hut on the roof. And now I have really just enjoyed being in the funk zone a lot because of these markets at Dark Coffee Garden that I've been putting on. We did a few sporadically through 2021 and the beginning of this year. But starting in July of this year, I've done one or two every single month. And people are so excited. And vendors, I think, so we have between 12 and 15 vendors usually every market. Yeah. And the vendors love it, and it's just like this warm, welcoming environment. Customers give that feedback a lot, that the garden is a place that feels really welcoming and warm and safe. And so specifically one of my vendors, Nina from Wild Moon Collection, who has vintage and recycled clothing, her customers specifically said that they feel comfortable shopping for clothes there. And, we kind of make this makeshift dressing room, and people just love being able to come and, they get their coffee, get their donuts, their empanadas or whatever, and then come and sit, and then it's like a multi-hour long thing where they sit and chat and then walk around and then talk to people. It's much more of a community event than like a just sell, don't interact with the vendors.
Totally. Yeah, and in your history of time in the funk zone, what has Dark Garden represented to you?
I mean, honestly, just community. Yeah. Like, I know that's like a pretty blanket, simple answer, but I mean, Dart is where I love to do business meetings, love to gather with friends, love to bring people together for markets, music. Erica and Carter have been so welcoming and awesome with wanting to, earlier in the summer when I was wanting to get some dates on the calendar, they were both just like, okay, how about this weekend, and I think because we don't know exactly the future of that space, we want to get as many in as possible, and definitely want more to happen in the future. They just aren't on the calendar, especially we just don't really know what's going to happen.
Playing it by ear.
Yeah, we're playing it by ear.
And can you shed a little light on the history of Dark Garden? I know it's kind of gone through different stages of...
that it was a community garden, or it was a residential home.
Right.
Like, it was just a residential home for decades. And then it became at some point became a community garden farm. And now on the property is, of course, Dart's garden hangout zone, but then also the green studio. It's the house, which is now a studio space that I think, so Erica, who where it runs Dart is in there. And then I think maybe 2 other people. I'm not exactly sure. But tomorrow is second Saturday in the Funk Zone. So that studio space is gonna be open. You can go and learn all about it. And then a bunch of other art studios are gonna be open. So you can just kind of like take a tour of the whole Funk Zone and see what people are making, actually go into people's studios.
And so with the potential development, what do you think, and maybe also from the community perspective that you've heard so far, what would that signify, placing a building there?
I mean, the overwhelming reaction is like literal devastation. I mean, people come into the market and are gushing about it, and we're like, well, did you know? Go follow Keep the Funk. Here's some pamphlets. Like, and people are just like so gutted that loss might happen. And I think because that block holds so many kind of like random small, like go down an alleyway and find this space, I mean, that really would change everything, and it would push out so many individuals. I mean, it would just, to think that there could be a parking garage where there is currently an open space with gorgeous trees and a community gathering space is really heart-wrenching. Yeah, and you know, of course they say it's gonna be affordable housing, but like that doesn't mean anything. And we do need more housing here, but that is not, like, the Funk Zone is not where that should be.
And not where it's realistically
that
gonna
is
go.
Not where it's realistically going to go. It's not realistically going to be able to continue being affordable housing, even if they do have a number of units. But like, we need more housing. You know, we need rent control. We need people to be able to actually live here. I mean, the Funk Zone already caters so much to tourists, and that is great. We need that in this town, but also this would really devastate a lot of local people.
And so in your time being active in the art scene here, have you seen Santa Barbara evolve in any way?
I think so. I mean, part of the reason I started Snack Gallery in the beginning was because I moved from Portland and was really, like, taken aback by the lack of just, like, weirdness, honestly. And I think, and people, like, as soon as I started talking about it, people were so hungry for it. Like, people dove in, people wanted to be a part of it, people wanted to support. Like, it was on fire. And back then, too, there wasn't, you know, maybe there'd be a pop-up every once in a while. Around the holidays, there were definitely some. But now, I mean, it's constant. There are markets everywhere. I think people who are kind of in our generation, our age, are really finding their voice and figuring out that you know, like, we can make a difference and we can build something. But it feels like it's been building the last few years.
I mean, I recognize that too. I think I told you, up in Portland for 4 years too. And that was when I really broke into what a local art scene is for a culture, you know, and was really hungry for that when I came here and kind of came back with the intention to be like, let's make it weird also. But even when I've just kind of visited, like, I spent the winter pandemic here, and even then I was like, whoa, how are all these pop-up opportunities happening? I never saw that before.
I feel like what happened last year with the San Marcos foothills and you know, we all banded together and raised a ton of money, and like, it really felt like a full community effort, and that was really inspirational. Like, it made me feel like, oh, we can actually, like, say no to some of these developers. And like, we can actually make a difference. And yeah, so like I'm so curious about what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
In the funk zone.
Check her out and check out the Dart Markets, the Dart Garden. Bye.
Bye.